Hello, welcome to Late Night Creations. I'm Kendra. I'm really glad that you clicked on this video because today I have a video for you that I made some spring decor items that are so adorable. I have always wanted a thermometer, is that what it's called? A temperature gauge, a thermometer, outside on my porch. And I saw one at Dollar Tree and it was kind of flimsy and cheesy looking, and I thought I can make this something really cute. I can really make this cute. So I grabbed a couple other things at Dollar Tree. One thing came from Dollar General, but it was still just $1, cheaper than Dollar Tree is now. And then I just kind of got on a roll with these bunnies and spring, and just really had a fun time making the things in this video. So I hope you like them. And leave me a comment and let me know which one's your favorite. I always like to know which one is your favorite. And let me know if you like spring, if you're ready for spring and summer, or if you really like the cooler weather. In Texas today, in particular, the wind is blowing out there like crazy and it is still really cool. And we are barely into spring, but I'm ready for warm weather. I'm a warm weather girl. I'm a southern girl, as you can tell, and I really like the warm weather. So I'm gearing up for these spring crafts because I'm ready. I'm ready for the warm weather and to see the bunnies hopping. So sit back, enjoy this video, and leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think, and let's get crafting. For this first DIY, we're going to use this sign I picked up at Dollar Tree. It's the perfect color already. You don't have to paint it. This cute little bumblebee I got at Dollar General is going to be perfect for this. And this temperature gauge thermometer I got from Dollar Tree as well. Now I'm going to just take off this little bell and the hanger. So we'll save those for another craft another day because I'm craft supply hoarder. So cute little bee, just gonna glue it over that egg shape, egg cutout with some hot glue, and then I decide it gets really hot in Texas and it's gonna melt that hot glue. So I decide to get out my E6000 and give it a stronger hold. And I did not put any kind of outdoor protection on this project. I should have, but honestly, it was really cheap and inexpensive, so I can either remake it or fix it later. Now I'm going to use these little tumbling tower blocks that come in that game from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put them in the back of this because there was not a lot of area to glue it to my sign. So they work perfect. They're the right size. They fit right in there great. Now I should have painted them white because you can see them through, but I'm not going to be that pedantic about this project. It's going to be on my back porch, and it's going to look adorable cute. Now, I was just sizing that up to see how my name was going to fit. Why I didn't just put my name on there and then glue this on, I don't know, but that's just how I work. So a little E6000, a little hot glue for a quick stick, and E6000 for a long-term stick. So there we go. Push it down. It's on there quick. This is a very quick and easy DIY, and it turns out so adorable. Now I'm using my Frisco transfer tape that Wendy over at White Sparrow Living turned me on to, and thank you, Wendy. This stuff is amazing. It pulls right off of there. Would you look at that? And it's really easy to work with. And she is an amazing crafter. If you don't know about Wendy over at White Sparrow Living, go and check her out. And look how easy it just comes right off, peels right off of there. And then I will reuse that 2 or 3 times as long as it doesn't get all dirty. For our next DIY, another one of these Dollar Tree signs, and it already had a beautiful wood grain finish to it, and I picked up these napkins at Dollar General. The package was $1, and I'm only using one of those little napkins. I cut it out, I peeled it apart. I kind of sped this up too much. I didn't have time to tell you what I did, but I just peeled it apart where it was only one little layer of that napkin. And now I'm just going to dry brush so it looks a little whitewashed. I love that whitewashed look. You should know that if you've watched any of my videos. I love to whitewash. I love to dry brush. It just gives it some dimension. And I really wanted that napkin to pop on our surface. And so I like to take an old t-shirt, cut it up, and use it for rags. And if you wipe that down, it gives your surface a nice smooth finish. Now a little Mod Podge. I buy Mod Podge by the gallon, and it lasts me a long time. It's much more economical to purchase it that way. And so I'm going to put this on here where I'm going to put my napkin, and a pretty decent coat so that it sticks good. And I like for it to go ahead and put enough where it's going to seep through. Now I have just a piece of plastic and my brayer tool, hope I'm saying that right, and it helps to smooth that out so nice without tearing that little thin napkin. And just gluing down my edges, glue that around there with a little Mod Podge and get the edges really nice and smooth. And then I'm going to put some Mod Podge on top. You have to be really gentle with that napkin. I waited until it completely dried to put the Mod Podge on top. So that way you're not putting wet on top of that, more wet on top of the wet napkin. So just a thin coat just to seal it. And it is so cute. That little bunny's so cute down there. So I cut this out on my Cricut and made a stencil. And I've got to clean up all my crumbs. Drives me crazy. And my Frisco transfer tape on there, and it wasn't quite long enough, so I used 2 pieces, and it works fine. I do it all the time, especially with stencils and if they're very big. And if you've seen these signs at Dollar Tree, you know they're really nice long signs, especially for that price. So just gonna press it all down on there and just peel it off if I can get my fingers around it. And sometimes if there are letters with an open, like an O or a C on there, I had a little trouble with the O and the C. Sometimes D's or something with an open spot, you have to kind of be careful, but just take your time. And then I just get it in there, center it the best I can, and scrape it down a little bit, peel that off. Look how wonderful that works. Oh my gosh, I love that transfer tape. Okay, they're not paying me to say that either. I just love it. Okay, now I'm going to peel the transfer tape back to reveal our stencil. You know I'm going to use that again. And then press it down, get it all pressed down nice and good. And then I'm going to use this Paint by Folk Art. I want to say it might be called Italian Sage. I'm not really sure. I wish I would have gone with a darker color, because you will see when I take this stencil off that it's not dark enough. But I fix it, because that's what we do when we DIY. I'm using this little sponge brush that came in a pack that I purchased at Michael's with a coupon and a gift card, and I'm just pouncing it up and down, up and down, up and down. And I didn't put this in my footage, but I always put a layer of Mod Podge and let it dry before I start painting, and it prevents bleeding underneath the stencil. Now I'm just taking off this stencil off my project very carefully. I'm too impatient. I like to peel it when it's wet. Sometimes I let it dry, but I like to peel it when it's wet because I like to see the results. So there we go. Get it all peeled off. And you can see that it wasn't dark enough. You couldn't see it good. So I took a really fine tip Sharpie, and I've already done every bunny. And I'm just going to show you a little bit. It was kind of hard because the surface is kind of bumpy from the wood grain. It's not real smooth. But I just kind of took my time and went around each letter with my fine tip Sharpie. And if I did it over again, I would use a darker color. But I think it turned out really good with that. Okay, now I've been using this all spring. I love this. I got this ribbon at Sam's on a big, huge roll. So I just cut 3 pieces, each piece a little shorter than the piece before. And I'm making a really simple little bow. Pinch it together, tie it with twine in the middle, and it makes a really cute bow. And just fluff it and twist it and fluff it till you get it like you want it. Hot glue it. I'm going to hot glue it to the top right above that bunny. And I think this thing turned out so cute. I absolutely love it. Every bunny welcome. Okay, third DIY, maybe my favorite. I picked these two little houses up at Dollar General for $1.50 each, and I just kind of disassembled them. Took the little door off so I could paint it. Took the little, you're supposed to hang a picture on that. Took it off. I've already painted that with my antique glaze, and now I'm going to paint this with that same green that I painted that other sign with. And I'm just going to give it a good coat. I think I only gave it one coat on each. No, I think I gave it 2 coats on each, the front and the sides on each one of these. And now I'm going to do the rooftops, just the front and the edges, because the top we're going to put some faux metal on. And it wasn't quite dry because I'm impatient and just trying to be careful just to get that to, I wanted it a little bit darker so it would pop a little bit. I love, contrast and texture. So there they are, finished, and now I'm going to put some of this floral foam I got at Dollar Tree down in the bottom of this little crate that I had already done with that antique wax. And I picked up these adorable little bunny pics. I wish I would have gotten more, but I really didn't know what I was going to do with them, so I only got one package. And I'm really not throwing stuff in the floor. I have a trash can over there. And I'm going to take the little bows off their necks, rip it off, tried to rip it off, it wouldn't come off. So I used a pair of scissors, cut the bows off the neck. The bows weren't horrible, but they just didn't match. And I used that same ribbon I used on that sign earlier and just made some little bows. I just cut a little piece off and pinched it in the middle and put a piece of twine around it. And I think they look really cute. I think these little bunnies are really cute for Dollar Tree, for something you can get at Dollar Tree, and 2 of them in a package at that. So they're really cute little pics. And then I decided those carrots you see up there, I'm going to make some pics out of them too. So they came, several in a package. I don't even remember. I got those last year. There were a bunch in a package. When I got them, they were $1, but still at $1.25, it's a good buy if you can find them. So I cut my skewers down, and I'm just poking them. There's styrofoam in the middle. I'm just poking them up in there. Now, here's my Dollar Tree baking sheet that I've used so many of these, cut them up. Charmin over at Fixin' To taught me how to use these for everything. So I'm going to see how long I need it, how wide I need it. Do they bend real easy? They have these dots, so you just follow the dots to make a straight line. And then I'm going to use this little, well, first I'm going to cut it to fit. But I just use something that I've tried several different things, and I finally found something that I like to smooth it out. You could leave it rough if you wanted to, but I just have the side of this little tool, and that's not even the lid that came on it. I don't even know where that came from, but just something you could use the side of a big marker or something, just smooth it out on both sides, and then I'm going to glue these on, and then I realize I have not painted the back, and that is going to probably show, maybe not show. So I'm just going to paint the top part of that house and give it one little coat, just so if you can, well, you will be able to see it a little bit, and then that'll be good. I don't even have to paint all the way down because that will be glued to our crate. But I'm a little extra, so I paint almost all of it. So get those 2 little things painted. Houses are all painted. Now we're going to make a little bit of, well, guess what we call shiplap now, but on the outside of the house, we just call it some wood grain, like it would be the grain of the wood. Maybe they did call it shiplap. Oh, got a little bit of my fingernail in there. So I did both of those, and then I got a tiny little paintbrush, and I thought I was going to use this antique wax, and I did the first one. I used a popsicle stick because my ruler was too big. I usually use my ruler, and I didn't really like it. Was I didn't really like how it turned out. So I ended up using, I didn't even show that. I ended up using Truffle by Waverly. And then I have my sanding block, and I just gave it a quick little sand. I used that sanding block from Dollar Tree, but I put fresh sandpaper around it when it wears out because that's pretty economical. Now I take my Antique and Glaze by Folk Art and just a little bit dry brush around the edges and right on those lines just so it looks like a little old house. Then I glue the little black door right back on there in the middle because I think that's cute and gives it some character. Adorable. And then I'm going to glue those little metal pieces we made for the roof. Just glue it right on there using my little rubber silicone finger because that metal gets hot when you put that hot glue under there. So get that all nice and smooth down. Oh, those little houses are so cute. Okay, now I'm going to glue it to the side of our little crate. Super easy. This is a super easy craft, y'all. And it's so cute when it's finished. It's probably, I have it on my bar for Easter decoration, but I think you could leave it up all spring. I don't think it has to be Easter. I think we think of bunnies and carrots for Easter. I think of it as spring because Easter to me is all about Jesus and the resurrection, the death and resurrection of Jesus. So I think about bunnies and carrots and new life of vegetation, new life and flowers and butterflies being spring. So I'm probably going to leave this up all spring until 4th of July or whatever our next season is that we're going to decorate for. So just getting these carrots, poking those skewers. Okay, that one broke because the styrofoam broke. I just hot glued it back together, stuck it in there because it's going to be at the bottom of there and you couldn't even tell. Actually, you couldn't even tell that it had been broken. So I got all my little carrots in there, got my bunnies in there, and then I have this little chalkboard sign from Dollar Tree. I think it's from Dollar Tree. I think they come in a package. If not, I know they have something similar. Put that little welcome sign in there, and then I'm still using this bag of grass that I've had for several years. And I get this stuff after the season when it's on clearance so that I can get the nicer stuff. Yeah, just poking it in there till it looks like how I like it. And just pick it up, wad it in, poke it in, put it where you like it, however much or however little you like. And oh my goodness, so cute. Tell me what you think.